That was about as beautiful as it could get. Thank you. Thank you. And one of the things that is so inspiring when I walked in this morning, I sent in the title of what I was going to speak about today, and I just always use a particular quote that inspires the talk, and to have someone's genius be able to apply music rocks. It just does. It just does. The inspiration for today is from Thoreau, and here's one of the most brilliant things that I see that he wrote that has inspired me for a very long time. And he says, "That which lies before us and what lies behind us are very small matters compared to what lies within us. And when we bring what is within out into the world, miracles happen." Can I get an amen for a miracle happening? And appreciating especially the way that we talk about miracle in unity, it's an extraordinary experience with something very ordinary. Do you hear? And you think about the times that you have declared that something is a miracle, it's usually because you didn't see that it was possible. Give me another amen. We live within that realm in which we are, what's possible here? I'm in the midst of whatever it is, and in that moment I see maybe one or two possibilities. And it's usually, it won't work, or I hope it works. And remembering how much is really available moment by moment will make all the difference. So I have an inspiration for you that I just love this. And it's called an autobiography in 5 chapters. And you may have heard it before, but think about this from the point of view of possibility. So chapter 1, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It isn't my fault. Chapter 2. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. And it still takes me a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I still fall in because it's a habit. But my eyes are open. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down a different street. Just appreciate for a moment why I love that so very much is in the moment in our lives when something is happening that we are not prepared for or we do not see is there to support our divine design, then we tend to keep on repeating the same thing over. Anybody ever repeat the same thing over and over again? There's a saying, and expect a different result. That is the definition of insanity. But the thing that is so remarkable, I'm coming down the stairs. The thing that is just so remarkable about that particular story for me is, do you see in the beginning when something comes our way, we see no possibility. Do you see that? And then we're surprised when the same thing happens again. Then it's like, well, what's going on? But what I loved about it is the capacity to walk down a different street was always there. It was always there. And the spiritual journey, sometimes we have to go through chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many have been through chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 like, oh, when do I get to give that one a rest? But you see, what's always so incredible is that the answer and the possibility was always present. And all it takes is for you and I to look for what could be the possibility here. You know, every minister has their own credo, some part of the teachings that speak to their heart. And believe it or not, we're so with that we speak about it 52 different ways every year. It's an interesting skill set. But mine is, with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. Why I love that is when I found unity, it took that which was outside of me and landed it in here. And all that I needed to do was be willing to access that which is already there. How many times have you thought about things that are missing? Do you ever say, I know you haven't, but take notes for your friends. You know, have you ever thought, gosh, love is missing, peace is missing? Anybody ever get that way, feel that way? If not, just note it for those in your life. And yet, in those moments, what we experience is discomfort. The things that we are comfortable with are the things we already know. We know what happened in the past, and from the past, we usually can predict the future based upon the past. What is wrong with that picture? This is how it happens, and that's how it's going to happen. This is how it happened, and that's how it's going to happen. As though there's no other choice. But it's comfortable, isn't it? Come on, tell me the truth. We're in church, right? Isn't it comfortable to know the comfort of what you already know? And yet, as students of truth, as students of the journey, you know that the journey keeps on going. Every time you grow, every time you make a new discovery, a new road or street or path opens. Have you noticed that? Just about when you think, I got it, the next possibility shows up. And it's great because when we move into the next possibility, we're so happy. And yet, that moment of discomfort that comes from I'm right here and I draw and look for comfort. Sometimes it's amazing that the human being is more interested in comfort. It's not a bad thing. Comfort is not a bad thing. But what if, as the Buddhists talk about it, what if the real game of life was to become comfortable with discomfort? Comfortable with discomfort. For those moments in which there's a possibility that you have not yet come to, and to see how uncomfortable that is, and become comfortable with discomfort. What a notion. Because you see, if not, you and I will spend our life trying to get comfortable. Do you see what I'm saying? And in that moment in which you are really willing to be in the presence of the discomfort of not knowing all the possibilities, is to remember that taking a different street was already present in chapter 1. Because you see, with God, all things are possible. And if there's one thing that happens in the human spirit, or at least the human being rather, is that we look to have things always stay the way they've been. even if we don't like it. Breathe. You're in church, you can look at what's true for you. But there really is either an infinite presence within you or there isn't. Do you hear what I'm saying? There is either the presence of infinite possibilities every single second of your life, or it isn't. You and I, we absolutely hold in our faith that with God, all things are possible, which means I can access infinite possibility anytime by getting myself out of the way without looking at why is this happening. The more I've been in this way of being in life, the more I see how uninteresting the question why is. What if, breathe, because this will be big, what if you never asked a why question again? Can you sense the discomfort? And can you sense the freedom? Because sometimes answering the question why keeps you in the same situation. Do you see? Because I want to know why it's happening rather than what could emerge out of what's happening. What's possible out of this, because the spiritual journey, friends, is one of growth, right? Amen, right? Amen. Don't you love to grow? And don't you just get annoyed when the growth happens? It's you're giving birth to something so incredible, and it's like, oh, it's going to be so painful. And truly, in the moment, it's infinite. What if you gave up the why question? What if you gave up the metaphor, not possible? Have you ever come up with a health or wealth or relationship experience and you go, this is not possible to work out? Oh, raise your hand. I'm the only one in the whole room? Never do it, but you're taking good notes. Really? Really? The capacity that you have with what is already within you is unbelievable. See, it's either with God or with spirit or with the divine, whatever name you want to give to it, it's always there. There is never an absence of God. There is never an absence of good. And you ever been in a terrible situation, and you know what those are for you? Do you know and everything is bad. This is bad. And the one thought that can escape us is, there's good in here. And am I interested in the good that is in there? Or am I interested in something else? Do you see that every single moment of your life, how many options and possibilities are available? It's staggering. I don't know why, but we are designed in a way that we know that there's this allness and bigness available, but let's keep it down right in here somewhere. You see, you and I, what lies within all of us is so much bigger than the past or the future. What's in us is meant for you to bring that forward to experience a miracle. One of the things this is kind of my sense of humor about it, so I guess I should ask forgiveness before I say it. But did you ever notice, whenever you read or have heard of a miracle that Jesus experienced or created, The one thing that never occurred was, did you see that? There was no surprise. It's just the consciousness or the awareness of some possibility in the presence of hunger, illness, death. But there was not a surprise, which surprises me. When I experience a miracle, I'm shocked by, whoa, did you see that? But when you look at the master teachers that all of us have come to love, there never was surprise. There was more of a sense of course. You see the difference? It doesn't mean don't be humbled and grateful, but don't be shocked when a possibility comes that you've never entertained before, and you say yes to it. Don't be shocked. Because even if the idea is not the one that will take you where you want to go, right? Anyone ever made an interesting decision that you go, gosh, I wish I didn't make that decision? Thank you. Two of us, there are two of us. We understand this. And yet, if you think about it from a spiritual perspective, regardless of what you choose, there's always still infinite possibilities out of that. Rather than, why did I do that? What if you began to really look at things that I say are not possible are simply something I have not tried? What if what really it was is it's untried rather than impossible? If there was a word or a concept to give up out of what we're talking about today, or at least what I'm talking about today, is to give up impossible and take on untried. See, right now, it's such a great experience. When I was preparing for this, I was thinking, my gosh, I'm going to talk about this in the presence of a community that is right now in the discomfort of what's going to be possible. And in that moment, you see there's the discomfort of, uh-oh, what's going to happen? And just notice, don't take notes on this. Just notice if you go to the past. And if you go to the past, how you might be predicting what's going to happen. Instead of standing in the miracle with what wants to happen. What wants to happen? Out of all the streets and chapters that we have walked through together, where's the next street of chapter 5? If not, we'll be looking to create chapter 2. Anyone ever do this? I want to have chapter 2 really happen again, because when chapter 2 happened, at least I knew what was going on. Give me an amen. Amen. You see. So for you and I, it's in the moment of every situation, am I willing to embrace infinite possibilities? And if something comes up that says, you remind yourself that it's just untried. And nothing is permanent. You can make a decision, you can go for one possibility, and it will take you to the next possibility. And when you're really looking at the human journey, the spiritual journey, isn't it just one chapter after another? But how you be with that defines the contribution that you will make in your life. Clear? Infinite. That's a huge word. Don't be surprised when truth works. You see, I mean, think about it. If Jesus were doing a miracle and really said, wow, what was that? Did you see it? We would be worried, wouldn't we? You have the capacity to become very comfortable with the discomfort of not knowing where something is going and asking a different question. What wants to emerge? What's the possibility that I want to put my energy in? And it needs to always be a possibility outside of what you already know. I already know, and I love what I know. I'm uncomfortable with when I don't know. So let me get comfortable. But let me get comfortable with not knowing. Are you willing? Is that yes? Oh, let me try that again. So that we're having a conversation, okay? I think there. Are you willing? Yes. Good, because there is so much available for you. I want to give you one last quote, which is my favorite, and it's from Willa Cather. It comes from the death of the Archbishop. And I think it's the most brilliant idea about miracles. Miracles rest not so much upon healing powers coming to us suddenly, but that for the moment our eyes can see and our ears can hear that which has been around us always. We live in what is always there. It's not somebody came suddenly from afar. Infinite possibilities are always present. Say yes to it. Yes. Oh, good. And today, when we gather together, and I'm going to stay and be a part of your meeting, let's really look together that every time, let's say something new emerges, some possibility, and all of a sudden there's fear in the room. Practice this. Fear in the room. It's okay. But then there's being open to possibility of being even greater than you've been up until now. God bless you as you have said yes to the spiritual journey and that you're partnering with that which is within you. God bless you.